Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you based upon when you're viewing this video. My name is John Moore, Brand Manager for Global Public Sector here at Salesforce. And today it is my pleasure to be able to sit alongside our two guests for a fireside chat that we're calling Agenda 2021, Delivering Outcomes, Building Trust. And with me are Kathy Conrad, Director of Digital Government Services at Accenture Federal Services, and Casey Coleman, Senior Vice President of Global Digital Transformation at Salesforce. And both of these ladies are phenomenal, thought leaders. They have a breadth and depth of experience that I know that we're all going to benefit from. So the anchor for today's conversation is a paper that was published this summer by ACT-IAC, a neutral body that represents the perspectives of both industry and government leaders. And those leaders are working together toward one common goal. And that common goal is to improve the effectiveness of government. The paper is also entitled Delivering Outcomes, Building Trust. And the purpose of the paper is to provide nonpartisan guidance and recommendations to government leaders and policymakers. So we don't have all the time in the world to unpack all of the issues and topics that we could talk about, but we are going to hit some key topics of exploration. And we're also going to highlight many of the recommendations that are outlined in the paper. So lean in here because these insights will be both compelling as well as actionable. I love that line of thought, bringing a level of understanding to the value of you having that trust, of you sharing that data, you being willing to be a participant in the process and really bringing to light for customers and end users just what benefits they're actually going to be able to take advantage of a lot easier and more efficiently as a result of sharing that data. I think that that certainly builds the trust and makes the data sharing. Casey, I'd love for you to expound a little bit upon the point that you made earlier about trust, and would love for you to take us a little bit deeper on how trust is impacted by those experiences when folks are engaging with government, and maybe even just what government can and should be doing to help improve those experiences for people.
Yeah, thank you, John. I do talk about this a lot, and I often say that government doesn't have a profit motive, but for government, trust is their currency. It is the foundation that they operate on, and that's got to be protected and at all times. And so there is a global decline in trust in big organizations generally, in big business, in nonprofits, in societal interactions, and government is also experiencing that. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but we know that trust is built one interaction at a time, and good customer experiences and effective government services are a proven way to build and strengthen and deliver trust. And that's why we put it in the title of the report. And so that trust is the kind of thing that is best delivered in a way that's agile, because the world is changing rapidly and the disruptive events like the pandemic are happening regularly. So the status quo won't do. Organizations, public service departments and agencies have to be agile and have to be responsive. So that calls for a new approach to constantly be sensing and making updates and delivering programmatic adjustments, and technology and digital platforms and cloud services give us the ability to do that when we couldn't in the past.
Yeah, Casey, let me build on that a bit. I think delivering personalized, kind of intuitive experience demonstrates a respect for people's time and an understanding of their needs. That's one of the reasons why the Office of Management and Budget has made trust such a bedrock of their guidance for how agencies should be measuring and improving customer experience. I think people are far more willing to share their data and trust that it will be used for their own benefit when they see more personalized experiences come out of government that address their needs. So, for example, the Federal Student Aid recently released a federal loan simulator, and CMS released a Medicare Plan Finder, very personal experiences that are tailored to people's needs and show them how government can improve the quality of their life by helping them find the best plan or find the best loan. So I think that link between providing data and building trust also is derived from having an experience that really meets your needs and provides real value to you.
I love that line of thought, bringing a level of understanding to the value of you having that trust, of you sharing that data, you being willing to be a participant in the process and really bringing to light for customers and end users just what benefits they're actually going to be able to take advantage of a lot easier and more efficiently as a result of sharing that data. I think that that certainly builds the trust and makes the data sharing that much smoother. You drew a little bit on earlier, Casey, this idea of agility. And so to revisit our current circumstances, I think that what this has demonstrated for us is, one, a reminder of just the very critical nature of government, but it also has proven that government has the ability to be incredibly agile in decision-making processes, which is certainly encouraging. In the paper, you all summed up a recommendation, and I'm going to abbreviate this. It's that government leaders should be thinking about creating an agile government that's mission-centric, to both of the points that both of you have made, very customer-driven, collaboration enabled. And I'd love to hear, let's start with you, Kathy, from the perspective of where we are now, what we've learned that can be applied to enable a more agile government on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, I think agility is really, really critical, and it shouldn't be reserved just for a crisis. So the fact that we've been able to respond in a nimble and agile way to the pandemic means that government is certainly capable of doing that and needs to sort of bake into the fabric of government some of the collaborative and more agile ways of working that have proved so effective in recent months. One aspect of that that's, I think, critically important, not just now, but going into the future, is the ability to break down silos and take what we recommend in the paper as kind of more of a whole of government approach, so that you can break down silos and enable improvements in end-to-end services, many of which cross multiple agencies. So, for example, during the pandemic, the IRS collaborated with HUD, with VA, with Social Security to be able to make sure that everyone could get their stimulus payment, including people who were unbanked or people who are homeless, making sure that the data and reach that each of those agencies had was put to good use in a collaborative fashion to be able to achieve that shared mission outcome.
All right, so you all have highlighted a number of really interesting things around the nature of digital service delivery and the fact that this is certainly something that has relevance and impact upon a variety of different audiences, from external customers to internal customers. And agility is certainly a part of that. It's certainly germane to how this service delivery is being viewed, the vantage point through which you are approaching service delivery. And there's also the notion of enabling this across a multitude of channels. And I'd love for you all to share with us a little more of your thoughts on that perspective.
Yeah, John, I think that's a really critical point. One of the areas that certainly has taken hold in the private sector, and that the government is kind of getting there, is taking what's called an omni-channel approach, where no matter whether you are interacting with government online or in person or over the phone, or as often is the case, using some combination of those methods, frontline employees have a 360-degree view of you, so they know what information you need, and they don't have to ask for previously provided data to be repeated or ask you questions that you've answered 5 times already, but can help quickly complete your task. One of the things that recent data has shown is that people, task completion is an area where there's improvement needed, and it's also directly related to the extent to which people feel good about the experience they're having. So having this kind of 360-degree view of a customer, no matter whether you're a contact center agent or a frontline employee taking in case applications, really can help improve efficiency and experience of government.
Well, I know that we could continue to go on. We could probably talk all day, but we don't have time for that in the time allotted to us. But again, want to thank both of you for your time, for your insight, and for sharing so freely with our viewers. For those of you who are interested in downloading the entire white paper, we would love for you to have a copy. So if you're accessing this from any social channels, you should see a link somewhere above this post that will take you to a page where you can download that full paper. Please keep an eye out for additional papers that are forthcoming. Thank you all once more for your time. Be well.